Welcome everyone to practice. My name's Kimberly. It's great to have you. For today, we're going to find some nice opening for the shoulders and the side body to work into a full wheel pose. That being said, have a strap, couple blocks handy if you have those. Have them right away because we're going to start on our back. But before we get started, if you enjoyed today's class, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can leave me any questions or comments in the comment box below. I love to hear from you. So join me on your back. We're actually going to open a little bit through the hamstrings here to start to manipulate the pelvis once we start to flow. So go ahead and lie down. And it's up to you if you want to take a block under your sacrum. Or you can just keep your pelvis down. We're just going to draw your right knee into your chest and then use your strap to loop up your foot. And then drop your shoulders, push through the ball of the foot, hug back through your belly. And you don't want your low back pulling away. If your pelvis is on the block, let your low back sink towards the floor. And just notice what you got in the right hamstring. And then see if you can find a sense of the chest broadening, the clavicle spreading. As you just close your eyes or soften your gaze. And lengthen the breath. Let it create a sense of grounding you, greeting your body on your mat. And then if that left foot is down, you can start to straighten the leg as long as the low back doesn't start to pull away, and push through the left heel as you draw the skin of the right hip away from you. Soften the neck. Take one more full breath. And then just release and switch sides. Right foot flat to the floor. Take the strap around the left foot. And then drop the shoulders. Let the elbows just hang. And then let the low back drape. Let the upper back get heavy, back of the skull be heavy. And just ever so gently take the skin of the left hip away from you and towards the right foot. And then see if you can broaden the clavicles, hugging or plugging your upper arms into their sockets. And then you might stay with the right sole of foot down or start to straighten the leg without turning the foot out. We'll keep turning the right toe straight up, inner right thigh towards the floor. And then inhale into that whole left side of the body. So already creating some awareness through the side body, even as we breathe into the back of the left leg. Take one more full breath. And your exhale, just gently release and come out of there. And just take your props to the side. And then come right to downward facing dog. You can pedal out the legs. Notice the effects of just that quick way of getting into the back body. I want you to shift your shoulders forward just a couple inches. push the mat away and spread your shoulder blades apart. So you're not bringing the shoulder blades together. Rather, protract a little more. And then maintain that as you draw your hips back, ears between arms. So you're really spreading your shoulder blades and tapping into your lats. Wrapping the outer edges of the shoulder blades to the floor as you hug inner to outer shoulder. And then just take a full breath in through the nose. Out through the nose. And just keep a hold of your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, look to your hands. And step your feet to your hands. Separate the feet hip width apart. Inhale and lengthen. Bend both knees. As you exhale, fold. Keep the right knee bent. Straighten your left leg and then walk your hands to the right. Drop your head. Pin the skin of your left hip back. Take another inhale. Exhale to center. Starting with a bend in both knees, lengthen the spine. And then as you fold, you'll straighten your right knee and walk your hands to the left, keeping that left knee bent. But then strongly pin your outer right hip back. Spread the breath through that whole right side. Full breath here. And then exhale, release. Soften both knees and rise to stand. And then reach the arms high. Take an inhale. Thumbs to heart, Samasthiti. Shoulders on the back body. Feel the chest broaden. Inhale, reach the arms up. Soften as you bow. Take an inhale and lengthen. Step back to plank. And then scoop forward of your toes and broaden your chest. Keep that. Lift your belly, bend your elbows, chaturanga. And then all the way down, point your toes back. Inhale, Shavasana. Hover your hands, lift your legs, and then fly the arms back. Take an inhale. Exhale, plant your palms, curl your toes under. Engage your quads and core. Inhale to plank pose. Push the mat away. Go back to dog pose. Exhale. And then inhale, stretch your right leg up. Exhale, step it between your hands. Crescent lunge, inhale. Cross your wrists. So you turn your palms out against one another. And then lengthen your tailbone down. Come out of that tendency to find a back bend and really knit your front ribs back. Rather get long and then side bend as you push your palms into one another. Skin of right hip back. And then inhale, lift your torso. Keep your hands. You're going to lean forward just enough so you can take your left ankle behind your right ankle. And then inhale, hug into the midline, lengthen, side bend to your right, exhale. Try to straighten your inner elbows and push through the left heel. Draw your left ribs back. Take one more full breath. And then exhale. Release the crossing of the wrists, fold forward. Keep the ankles crossed. You can bend the right knee a lot, inhale and lengthen. Next, exhale, just fold. Again, push through the left heel. Outer hips back as the navel lifts. And then step back to plank pose. Hinge forward, chaturanga. Spread the chest as you lower down. Inhale, Shavasana. Fly the arms. Exhale, downward facing dog, coming right through plank. Left leg up, inhale. Knee to nose, step it between. Come up to crescent lunge. And then cross your wrists, turn your palms out against one another, and then find a sharp back line of your back body. Keep that side bend to your left. You're digging into that left side body. Try to lift your chin and straighten your inner elbows. And then skin of left hip back. Take another inhale. Exhale, keep the arms, just lift the torso. Lean your weight forward slightly and take your right ankle behind your left. Push your right heel, lift through the side bodies, and then exhale, side bend left. Press your palms together. Squeeze your thighs. Press to stand. Keep the ankles crossed, fold forward. Getting deep into that side body. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. And then inhale the plank. Exhale, chaturanga to the belly. Shavasana. Engage the back body. Lift the belly. Broaden the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stretch your right leg up. Same setup, but step 2, low lunge. Bring your back knee down. And then find 90 degrees of the knees. Cross your wrists. And then find that sharp line of the back body. Knit your front ribs back and then side bend to your right. So getting more into the outer left hip. Keep drawing your front ribs back. Tailbone down. And then inhale, come up. Bring your right hand to your thigh, and you can take your right foot forward or back leg back to drop your hips slightly forward. And then keep your right hand there. Keep using your core so you're not just laying in your low back as you side bend to the right. Option 2 is to bring your right hand down or hover it. And getting more into the front of the hip. Notice how it shifts towards the front of the hip as you sink your pelvis down. And then inhale, lift your torso, arms high. Exhale, left ankle behind the right, fold. And then inhale, hips back, heart forward. We're just going to exhale and walk our hands to the right. Push through the left heel, drop your head. And then skin of left, hip back as you fold. Take an inhale and lengthen. Come back to center, step back to plank. Chaturanga to the belly. Inhale, Shavasana. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg up, inhale. Step it between. Find your low lunge. Cross your wrists. Sharp back line. And then exhale, side bend to your left. Keep lengthening your tailbone, knitting the front ribs. Soften the upper traps. Take an inhale. Upright the torso, left hand to thigh, and sink your hips or pelvis down slightly. But then keep the belly active as you exhale, side bend to the left. So again, it's not just going back, but lifting up and side bending left. And then direct your tailbone toward your left heel. You can free up that left hand to bring your fingertips down or hover. Feel it shift into that right front hip, but engage your right glute to open more to that right front hip. 3, 2, inhale up. Right ankle crosses behind. Exhale. Take an inhale, lengthen the chest. Push the right heel as you fold, walk your hands to the left. And then skin a right hip back, pin that hip back. Feel the length there, right side body. And then come back to center, step back to plank. Nice broad chest, chaturanga. Strong back body, inhale all the way down, Shavasana, locust pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just take a full breath there. Notice that work through the side body, how it affects the outer hips, as well as up into the thoracic spine. Take an inhale, look to your hands. Step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Rise to stand. Exhale, fold forward and down. Take an inhale, plug your shoulders back, lift your belly. Chaturanga, step or hop. Inhale, up dog for this one if you want, but then take it back to your belly. Exhale, Shavasana. Inhale, float the arms, lift the legs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, stretch your right leg up, and then step it between your hands. Come up to Crescent Lunge, and then cactus your arms. I want you to draw your elbows apart and then back. And then feel your chest broaden, your clavicle spread as you draw your front ribs back. So it's not just a back bend here, but really retract the shoulder blades. Actively open through the chest. And then soften the sides of the neck. Take another inhale. And then left arm under your right, left leg over your right, Gardasana. Exhale. Now lift your elbows shoulder height and push them away from you. Now doing the opposite to spread the shoulder blades apart. And then sink your hips down. Keep drawing your elbows away from you and just unravel the top leg, step it back to warrior one. Lengthen the tailbone down and lift the elbows up. Now stretching the outer armpits. But keep knitting the front ribs. Lift your elbows forward, then up. Take a full inhale. Good, just release your arms, big circle up and overhead. Come back to a cactus bend of the elbows and then turn your palms down. Now we can really draw the elbows back. Keep that tip halfway forward, warrior three. Work your elbows back behind you as though they can touch. And then lift your belly. You can soften that right knee a little. Feel the chest spread, the upper back engage. As you stand on the right foot, take a full breath. And then just transition back to your low lunge, left knee down, and then left arm under again. Then drop your pelvis, lift your elbows away from you, and then up. Again, coming back to the lats here as you sink your hips forward and down, but stabilize from your belly. Just take a full breath there. Exhale, take your vinyasa, chaturanga, upward facing, and then back to the belly. Shavasana, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Good, left leg up, inhale. Step it between your hands. Come up to your crescent lunge. And then steer your tailbone somewhat forward, just to dig into that support of the belly. Knit the front ribs. Maintain that as you cactus your arms. And then hug your elbows back slightly as you draw them apart. Engaging through the chest as it spreads. Take a full inhale. And then right arm under, we're going to come right to Gardasana, right leg over. As you sit, lift your elbows and then draw them away from you. Keep pushing the elbows away from you as you lift up through the sides of the heart. Upper palate back ever so slightly. Feel the center line of the spine cinching all around it. Take a full breath. Keep the arms. We're just going to step that right leg back to warrior one. Feel out your feet. Draw your elbows away from you and then lift them up towards the ceiling. You don't have to crank your gaze up with them. Focus more on the angle of the armpit opening. And then sit into that left thigh as you pull your low belly away from it. Take a full breath here. Use your exhale to just circle the arms out and up. Come back to the cactus, bend of them, but then turn your palms to face down. As you hug your upper arms in the socket, squeeze your elbows back. Squeeze your elbows back. And then warrior three. So keep that in the arms. Just tip in. And then once you find your balance, squeeze your elbows as though they're touching behind you. Slow down the breath. Nicely done. Low lunge, just tip back. And then right arm under. Lift the elbows, sink your hips, or draw your elbows away from you and then lift them up. Take another breath. Exhale. Chaturanga. Upward facing, pause. And then chaturanga to the belly. Inhale, Shavasana. Exhale, downward facing. Good, take a full breath. Bring your knees down, just find child's pose for a moment. Recreate some nice awareness, the upper back, side bodies, hips. Just let that land. Soak it up. And then come back to the steadiness of the breath. Downward facing dog. And we're going to find some fun adventures now to work deeper into the hips as well as the shoulders. Stretch your right leg up. And then take it under and over, but keep your hands down and sink your right hip down towards the mat as much as is comfortable. And then just step it back to dog. Left leg, sweep it across, hover that hip. Downward facing. Right leg, so you get the drift. If you have a carpeted floor, you might have a harder time with this one. But just sweeping that leg, hovering the hip, stepping back to dog. Good, and then take the left leg over. We're going to stay there. Keep the right toes curled under. You might have a little bend in that knee, and that's completely fine. And then walk the elbows out to bring them down. And then scoot your left hip underneath you a little more. Stay here, or you're going to thread your right arm underneath. And then bring your right temple down, right side of your face down. So you're spreading your upper back, getting a nice stretch for your rhomboids. As well as finding this nice twist and opening in the other hip. Let's be okay with what you have. Find a place that feels good and drop into it. Good, and then come right back up to your hands, and we're going to keep the leg out to the side. Lift up and drop your back knee, and then sit your hips back. Skin of left hip back. And then just bend that knee and set it down for a tabletop. Take a cow and a cat. Inhale. And then exhale. And then find your neutral spine. We're going to find that same threading of the needle, right arm up, right shoulder down. We're going to add on to that. So now with the left hand flat, right shoulder temple down, kickstand your left leg out, lateral to the side. Now if you're able, grab your foot. So you really get that right shoulder underneath you. And it's more on the back of the shoulder. So your neck isn't on the mat at all. Then come to your left fingertips and then swing your right shin in towards the direction you're facing. Right shin, swing it in. That will help your balance. Now lift your left elbow up, hollow out the armpit, so plug the shoulder in the socket, and then start to walk your left hand back. Back. To manipulate the shoulder blade. And you might come more to the back of the head as you do that. You're rolling more into the back of that right shoulder and getting that nice opening there. But keep steering your left elbow straight up and hollowing out your left armpit. If you want to go a little further, bring your left knee down. Stretch your left arm up and find a half bind. So you find somewhere around your right hip with that left hand. Your butt's just up in the air and you're on your right shoulder, back ahead. Knees. Nice opening, mobility in the upper back. Now if your knees aren't down, you'll just have to find your knees down at some point. Start to get there. If you're on your knees, you're going to unthread and come to stand on them. And then facing the side of the mat, I'm just going to turn around. We're going to find Camel. So knees right under hips. If you're a little lopsided, square it off, tailbone down, inhale, maybe hands to low back. Lift through the thoracic spine, curl. It doesn't have to be your biggest camel. I just want you to open and spread through the chest. Take an inhale there. On your exhale, come back up. Find gate pose, left hand down, right leg back. Stretch your right arm up and overhead. Now stretch that whole right side. And then turn it into side plank. Stack your heels. Right knee to chest, inhale, step heel to thumb, and then come right to warrior two. From your warrior two, take your arms straight up, lengthen your tailbone down. And then maintain that inhale, reverse warrior. And then keep guiding your right knee behind you, so towards your right. Lengthen your tailbone toward your right heel. And then come halfway forward. Keep the arms overhead. And then hug the skin of the left ribs back. Hug your right hip underneath you. Keeping everything open side of mat. We're going to translate this into a hovering half moon. So if you need to, just bend your elbows. But as you firm your right hip in, lift your left leg up. And you might stay higher up. But continue to hug your left ribs back so the chest opens. Take a full breath. Keep your arms overhead if you have them. We're just going to step back with straight legs. Torso straight up and down. Setting up for triangle. Hips to the left. If you can, keep your arms overhead. Just lean to your right as much as you can. And then just drop your right hand to your shin. Now push your left heel and reach for your left pinky as you spin your left pinky finger behind you. Get longer between those 2 points. Take an inhale there. Look to your right foot as you exhale, frame it, and then stretch your right leg up and back. Now lean your shoulders toward your wrists. Hop and switch your legs. Hop and switch your legs. Doesn't have to be high. Just try to land light. Let's do 10, 9, 8, elbows straight and strong, 6, 4, 3, land on the right leg, 1, and then you can hop and switch your legs or just step left foot between your hands. We're coming to warrior 1. Clasp your hands, spread the chest, take an inhale, humble warrior fold. Get the head beneath the heart. Soak it up. Push in your feet, release your clasp. And then take your vinyasa, maybe a handstand prep, shoulders over wrists. It might be up dog through chaturanga to the belly. Finding that new vinyasa, Shavasana. Downward facing. And then lift your right leg and draw it over to the left. And just bring your hip down. And then pick it up and steer it underneath you even more as you drop to your elbows. Keep lengthening your spine. Maybe walk your right hand out and thread your left arm under and bring the left side of your face down. So that arm is shoulder level. And feel the hips pulling back slightly and the left shoulder blade drawing away from the spine within this twist. It's anchoring through that right hip. Take one more full breath. And come back to your hands. Just walk them in enough. You're going to lift that right hip but drop the left knee. So you're on the blade edge of the foot. Sit back like half splits. Squeeze your thighs. And then hips forward. Just unravel that right leg. Bring it down under your hip. Find cow pose and tabletop. And then round exhale. Stretch your left arm up. And then open again to the right. Left shoulder temple down. And then invite your right leg to go out as you plant your right palm down and wing the elbow out. If you're able, you'll grab around that foot with the hand, really getting that left shoulder blade to draw away from the spine. Kickstand your left shin towards the direction you're looking at, so towards your right. And then try to lean back more into the back of that shoulder, maybe even back of the skull. And just notice what you got. If you're tighter in the upper back, you're going to be limited here. Just don't grab your foot. Find a place that you can soften into and be okay with it. If you want to work a little bit through that right elbow, come to your fingertips, elbow up, hollow out the armpit, and then start to walk it back like a clock overhead. So now you're manipulating that right shoulder blade as well. Soften through the neck. Hug back through the right hip. And And then you'll just gently, if you're able, bring that right knee down. And then right hand up behind the back, somewhere to that left hip crease. And then use your hands or not, just sit back, come to stand on your knees. And then open to the left side of the mat, knees under hips, tailbone down, camel pose. Hands to low back here, maybe to heels. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, find that retraction to lift up. Squeeze your glutes, don't let them just go soft. Inhale up. And then right hand forward, left leg out, gate, stretch your left arm overhead. Stretch. Now left side body. Take it to side plank, inhale. And then left heel, right thumb, exhale. You can grab that shin along the way. Left side warrior two. And then arms up. Tailbone down. And keeping your arms as extensions of your waist this whole time. Inhale, reverse warrior. Lengthen your tailbone toward your left heel. Full breath in. Side angle. And then right ribs back. So that's going to open your chest as you hug your left hip in. Feel your left side body turn on a little more. Full breath in. And then start to settle your gaze toward your left foot. Come to your right big toe. Keep everything open side of mat. Hover moon. Again, skin of right ribs back. Feel your right side body light up. Full breath in. Take a shorter step back. Come upright, arms overhead. And then keep them overhead as you just tip off to the left as much as you can. And then left hand to shin. Push your right heel, reach your right pinky, and then draw your right wrist back. Trikonasana. Rotate your right pinky finger back behind you. Get into the lats a little more. Take a full inhale. Look to the left foot. Exhale, runner's lunge. Stretch your left leg up and back. And then lean your shoulders forward, hop and switch. Last 10, 9, 8, a little faster. 5, 4, 3, 2. Land on the left leg. And then step or hop and switch your right leg between your hands. Warrior one, inhale. Clasp your hands behind your back. Pry the heart up. Exhale, humble warrior fold. Drop your right sits bone. Lengthen your spine. Push your feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. Vinyasa. Take it through. Good, downward facing dog. Come back to your breath. And stretch your right leg up. Step it between your hands. Come to warrior two. And then take your right arm up. This is where you might need your strap. We're going into a cow face bind. So using your strap if you need one, or just Grab onto your clothes or don't find the latch of the hands. Left hand behind you. And then hug your left shoulder back, stretch your right elbow straight up. And then lengthen your tailbone down. Keep all that, just tip to your left, reverse warrior. Right ribs back. Right knee right. And then lengthen out as you just breathe. Feel the strength and the support of the breath. And then inhale, come back to center. Keep the arms, come to horse. Draw the knees apart, hug back to your belly, inhale. And then again, side bend left. So lengthen your tailbone toward your right heel, and then reach your right elbow away from it. Get longer between those 2 points. Take one more full breath, sit a little lower. Keep your arms as you come up. And then halfway forward, tip, tip, tip. And then in or groin back, chest forward, fold, exhale. Keeping the legs and the arms if possible. If you need to, you can turn your feet forward, prasarita with cow face arms, or stay in your horse if possible. Feel the outer hips turn on, but that nice space, broadening of the low back. Really igniting through the low deep belly as you drop your head. Take another full breath. And then just slowly release your hands. And then pivot around to frame your right foot. Stretch your right leg up. Now bend your knee, open your hip, and drop your left elbow down as you draw left ear to bicep. We're going to move through some repetitive movements. So lift the elbow. We're going to come to our right knee like a modified side plank. Turn the left foot out and side bend to your left. Same direction we were just in. And then coming back, plant the palms, left elbow down, wing your right elbow out. So the left knee never comes down. Just turn the foot out and side bend to your left. There might be a little bit of a mind bender there. Roll your hip open, drop the left elbow. And then drop the right knee, open side of mat. Tip to your left. And keep it going. Just work on moving through as smoothly as you can. And then pause in your funky dolphin with the hip open, left elbow down. You're going to lift the elbow, look forward, and step right foot between your hands. Inhale the crescent lunge. Thumbs to heart twist. Left elbow, right thigh. Revolve crescent lunge. And then draw the skin of the right hip back as you extend your chest forward. You can stay, maybe open the arms. Half or full bind. If you want to go even deeper, start to push through the ball of the right foot and straighten your right leg if you're in the bind. Roll your right shoulder blade to the spine. Skin of right hip back. We bend the knee. Thumbs back to heart. Look to the right foot. And then exhale, runner's lunge. Now stretch your right leg up. And then walk your hands to your left foot at the back of the mat, standing splits. Now listen carefully. We're going to keep reaching our right leg towards the wall that it's reaching towards. So the wall behind you. Spin on the ball of the left foot. Spin the heel to your left 90 degrees. And then walk your hands to the right 90 degrees. But keep reaching that right leg towards that same wall. So you have a lateral right leg. Come to your fingertips, stretch your chest forward. Left hip back. And then maybe right toes forward. You can bend the knee if you need to. 3. Pull your belly in. Plug your shoulders in their sockets. 2. All right, 1. Rather than just crossing our ankle and folding, we're going to take that right leg behind as we bend into the left knee. Use your right hand to kind of guide this. So you come right into a horizon lunge. Left foot is forward. You can walk it down the mat as much as you need, and now you're getting a nice stretch to that right hip. So stay here on the hand. You might walk it forward. Let your shoulder draw towards the ear. Option 1. Option 2, grasshopper. I like to do it from my elbow. You can do it from your hand as well. Essentially above the knee, pushes into that left calf. And then you'll reach in front. Push with the left foot to lift the hip. And think hips back, chest forward, spine long. Feel the engagement of the core to lift the pelvis and draw it back behind you. And then bring your hip down. So from here, we're all going to just meet where we started, right hand under shoulder, and then come to side plank. And stack your heels. We're going to take the bottom knee, lift it to our chest, left arm up, take the knee to hover, and then elbow to knee. Right knee to hover, left elbow, right knee. 3, 2, 1. Maybe a straight leg, hold. You can grab the foot if you want to. Draw your sacral spine forward. Plug your left shoulder back. 3, 2, release the foot if you have it. Taking it to the left side, wild thing on the left hand to open, counter, lift. And then step your right foot to your left thumb. And here's our exit. We're going to take a puppy press. Using a block if you want. I'll turn so you can see me. You'll stand on the block with the right leg. And your left knee is going to go to your left side body. Kind of like a frog. So all you want to work on initially is leaning the weight in the hands, elevate the shoulders, lift your butt. Getting your butt high is the most important piece to this. Once you have that, then right leg goes out lateral. Lean, push, spread. Then maybe take that leg out so you have your puppy press. And you can work on switching the legs or maybe take it straight up from there. And then finish up. Come into a low squat, Malasana. Just come up for air. Lift your chest, however. And then drop your seat, Navasana. From your Navasana pose, come into a low boat. Take your hands behind your head. We're going to take left elbow to right knee, low boat, and then lift up and tap around that left leg. You can have the knee or not, low boat. Left elbow, right knee, hands around left leg. So stay in low boat as you draw left elbow, right knee, but lift your torso as you lift your left leg. Last 3, 2, 1. Come to low boat, hands behind head, out and in of the legs. Out, in, spread the chest, elbows wide, head heavy. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Low boat, inhale, point your toes, hug back through belly, maybe arms overhead. Exhale, knees to chest. Nicely done. So rock and roll along your spine. If you want, take it through pistol on the right leg, standing splits, and then vinyasa any way through. Might take another stab at that puppy press, or whatever you're working on. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. There's no need to nail it. Just creating muscle memory, creating strength. And soften in, create more balance. Not becoming too attached. Come back to the breath. And then lift your left leg, second side. And just step it between your hands. You might use your straps, so grab it on your way up. We're going to take the left arm up, right hand behind your back. And then lengthen the tailbone down, knit the front wrist back, and then side bend to your right. And keep winging your left elbow back, hollow out the armpit. So you can manipulate the shoulder blade a little more as you tip. Take an inhale. On your exhale, come upright, turn your heels in. Maybe shorten your stance a little. Find your center line. Lean the upper body back, lengthen the tailbone down, and then side bend to your right. Draw your tailbone toward your left heel, and left elbow away from the left knee. Can you coax your left ribs back to open the chest towards the ceiling? Just a little. And slow down the breath. Full inhale. Come upright. Keep everything. Just tip your pelvis forward. Spread your chest broad. And then fold forward. Look underneath you. Dig deep from your belly. Stretch the knees apart. Drop your head. Take one more full breath. And then release your hands. We're going to spin to frame our left foot. Runner's lunge, and then sweep that leg up. Roll your hip open and drop your right elbow down. And then coming forward towards a runner's lunge, but drop your left knee down. Turn your right foot out and side bend to your right. So that's our interval. Bringing the right elbow down, rolling that hip open, and then drawing the left knee down So you side bend right. And make it your own if you feel inspired to maybe hover or pause somewhere in the transition. That's the good stuff. It's not about just cranking them out, waiting for it to be over. Rather, immersing yourself in this whole body support, coordination. On your last dolphin with the right elbow down and hip open. And then square off your hip, lift your right elbow, step your left foot between your hands. Crescent lunge, left leg forward. Twist, exhale, right elbow, left knee. Stay there, open the arms, half or full bind. Lift through that right thigh and then draw the skin of the left hip back. You extend the chest out. Stay or start to straighten your left leg. Feel the twist from the upper back, that thoracic mobility. Take a deep inhale. Good. On your exhale, come back to runner's lunge. Stretch your left leg up and back. Down dog splits. And then walk your hands toward your right foot. Standing splits. Keep reaching your left leg towards the wall behind you. Lift high in the ball, the right foot. And we're going to take it just to the right, 90 degrees, as you walk your hands and torso to the left. And then lift the left leg laterally. But draw your right outer hip back as you spread your chest. Plug your upper arms into your sockets. And then maybe start to just draw your left foot more and more forward. Right hip more and more back as you lengthen out through the spine. Take a full breath. And then we'll circle that left leg behind and just drop your left hip down. Use your left hand to support you and get into the nice stretch. Option 1, stay. Option 2, drop your left elbow down. Lift your left leg, push the thigh into the calf. Then lift your hip, right arm in front to grab around the blade edge of foot. And then butt back, chest forward. Left side body lengthening, right side body engaging. 3, 2, drop your hip. 1, walk your left hand under your shoulder, and then lift that hip, find side plank. Stack your heels because we're going to take our left knee in, and then hover that knee. Inhale, right arm up, connect elbow to knee, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Get big, draw it in. Last one, inhale, draw it in. You might grab around blade edge, but then swing your hip in, right shoulder plugs back, spread the chest. 3, lift the right inner thigh. 2, soften your grip. Wild thing on the right hand, left leg over. And And then step your left foot to your right thumb. Use a block if you want. Our left leg's our launching leg, our right knee's to our chest. And then know that that left leg is the leg that's going to go out to the left. So prepare right thigh to chest the whole time. Commit to that. High in the ball of the left foot. Tip your weight towards your fingertips. And then lift your shoulders down towards your jaw. Elevate the shoulders. Keep that. Tip your pelvis over. And then soften. So keep doing that a few times. Then maybe add on the leg out. But you have to get your hips up. You have to set up the shoulders. You might find it, you might not. Just be okay with where you're at. And then left foot back down. Pause in Malasana. Drop into Shavasana. And then roll down. So hands behind your head, last little bit here. Right elbow, left knee. Low boat. Lift up, tap around right leg. Low boat. And just keep alternating through that. You can bend the right knee as you come up. Harder, keep it straight. Maybe grab closer up towards that ankle. Last 3. Point the toes, keep the legs strong. Last 1. 1, low boat, out and in, legs. Lift the chin, knit the front ribs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold low boat. Maybe arms overhead. Pinky fingers curl down. 3, 2, knees to chest. 1. Rock and roll along your spine. Take a vinyasa or left foot pistol. Left foot is down, right leg forward to standing splits. And then take your vinyasa. Child's pose when you're ready. And then come to your back. So set up for bridge. We've done the work. We're ready for bridge pose. So feet flat, knees bent. Arms alongside you. Just peel up, lift the hips. Feel right under the sits bones turn on, and then interlace your hands. Find your bridge. To lift up through more of the thoracic spine and retract the shoulder blades. Take an inhale and then lower down on your exhale. And just watch me. If you're not too comfortable in wheel because shoulders tend to be tight, or your chest, you're going to come to the crown of your head. But then allow your elbows, once you plant your palms, to wing out a little. And then as you do that, you can hollow out the armpit and get your upper arms to plug into their sockets to retract the shoulder blades. And then from there, you'll push up and manipulate your chest through the gate of the arms. Okay, so maybe trying it like that, and the hands might be turned out a little. Come to the crown of the head. And then you want to get the shoulder blades together by elbows winging out, hollowing out the armpits. Feel the shoulder blades cinch together to then lift the chest. So should create a little more space there to then lengthen and eccentrically engage the lats. Feel the support of the legs. Broad upper back. Lower down. So we're going to do one more set. Your choice if you want to go deeper. It might be one-legged wheel. You might do a stand and then a drop back. You choose. Set it up. When you're ready, please take your time. Come on out and rest in Supta Baddha Konasana for a moment. Let's take a full breath there. And then close your knees like a buck. Draw your right knee to your chest and interlace around the shin when we're moving. If it interests you, you can find a half happy baby, left hand to hip. Maybe extend that leg out. Getting a little more opening through the inner thigh. And try to keep your left hip heavy. Side body long. And then invite your leg to just cross over to your left for your twist. Scoot your left hip underneath. And then gently release, come to center, and just switch sides. Left knee to chest, right leg long. Half happy baby. Maybe leg out to the left, keeping the right sits bone anchored. Upper back heavy. Take an inhale to spread the chest. And then exhale to guide the knee across for your twist. And then come back to center. And just make your way into Shavasana. And as you get comfortable there, just notice the stillness you created from that opening of the side body and the shoulders. Whether it works more in a restorative way up through the neck or more into the outer hips, perhaps the low back. So we can just soften into the experience of our bodies, no matter what the circumstance of the world around us. Creating this place of stillness that settles deep into our bones. Let the stillness cover you like a blanket to penetrate even deeper into your bone marrow, deep into your cells. And see if you can just sense that nourishment within the stillness. And with as little effort as possible, slowly make your way into a comfortable seat, or just stay if you have the time. Continue to soak up this nourishment. And if you're seated, close your eyes and just come back to that sense of stillness, that source of nourishment. becomes this mindset you can keep coming back to, even if just for a moment or maybe a couple minutes of your day. And bring your hands together, just bow your gaze. Namaste.